Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we start off with President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, who met on Wednesday visiting U.S. Secretary General Antonio Guterres. Guterres' visit is the first since taking office. The talks covered the situation in the Middle East and coordination efforts to reach political situations for crisis in the region. After the talks, Guterres held a joint press conference with Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry. Speaking at the press conference, Shoukry wished success for the new UN chief in light of the major challenges facing the world. More details with Nile TV's Linda Abdelatif.
President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi met UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres at Al Ittihadiyya Palace. During the meeting, President el-Sisi congratulated Guterres for the post of the UN Secretary General and referred to the concern that Egypt has always given to the role played by the UN in enhancing international cooperation on all levels, which reflects Egypt's active participation in the activities of the UN in light of its current membership in the Security Council and for being an active contributor in the different UN peacekeeping process. President el-Sisi also referred to the importance of working on enhancing international efforts to reach political solutions for the crises in the region. That's besides increasing the international efforts to fight terrorism and extremism. The president also referred to the importance of exerting more efforts to revive the peace process between the Palestinian and the Israeli sides, stressing that reaching a just and a final solution for the Palestinian issue would provide a new reality in the region and would participate in regaining stability there. President el-Sisi also referred to the efforts exerted by Egypt to reach a solution for the Libyan crisis, stressing that Egypt is keen on not interfering in the internal affairs of the countries, adding that the country is also keen on preserving the unity and integrity of the Libyan territory and its people. For his part, Guterres emphasized that his visit to the country comes within the framework of Egypt being a pivotal pillar of stability and security in the region. And regarding the Syrian crisis, Guterres said that the UN is keen on working on reaching a political settlement that will end the humanitarian suffering of the Syrians. Guterres also emphasized on the importance of enhancing the national reconciliation efforts in Iraq and said that he is looking forward that the current year will witness political solutions in Yemen and Libya. And following the meeting, Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry and Guterres held a joint press conference. Speaking at the press conference, Shoukry wished success for the UN chief in light of the major challenges facing the world. Shoukry also highlighted the mediation role played by Egypt to reach consensus between Libyan parties on a political settlement for the crisis in the country and said that Egypt backs efforts by the UN envoy for Syria to reach a settlement for the conflict, adding that Egypt supports dialogue between Syrian government and rebels. And for his part, Guterres held Egypt's leading role in settling crisis in the Middle East and reiterated that there is no alternative to the two-state solution to the Palestinian issue. Guterres also stressed on the need to end the war to terrorism within this year. The UN chief also expressed appreciation to Egypt for hosting a huge number of refugees escaping conflicts in the region without receiving the support of the international community. The meeting of President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi with the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres comes within the leading and influential role Egypt plays and within its continuous successful efforts to overcome the challenges facing the region. Linda Abdelatif, Nile TV International.
President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi met on Wednesday Irina Bokova, the Director General of the UNESCO. The meeting was attended by Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry and a number of high-ranking officials of the UNESCO. Presidential spokesman Ambassador Ala Youssef said that President el-Sisi awarded Bokova the Order of the Republic for her efforts in boosting cooperation between Egypt and the UNESCO and her contribution in developing a number of cultural projects in the country during the last period, as well as her role in preserving the international heritage. El-Sisi praised Bokova's management of the UNESCO amid the current challenges, asserting Egypt's full support to the UNESCO role in enhancing the bonds between the different cultures. For her part, Bokova said that she was honored by receiving this award that reflects the special relations between Egypt and the UNESCO. Bokova praised Egypt's role in fighting terrorism, confirming UNESCO contributing and continuity of offering all the support to fulfill this goal.
Warring Libyan factions tentatively agreed late on an Egypt-brokered roadmap to heal divisions with the creation of a joint committee to negotiate reconciliation in elections by February 2018. The deal comes after months of diplomatic efforts by Egypt, culminating this week with visits by Fayez Sarraj, Prime Minister of the UN-backed government in Tripoli, and Khalifa Haftar, a military commander supported by eastern factions. The two men met separately with senior Egyptian military officials and have been set to sit together in the session late on Tuesday, then failed to meet due to last-minute differences. Egypt has made stabilizing Libya a priority and has hosted a flurry of meetings in recent months, bringing together Libyan politicians from east and west. Egypt has refrained from endorsing the Tripoli-based Government of National Accords, GNA, with officials saying it is up to the Libyans to decide on their government.
Prime Minister Sharif Ismail said on Wednesday that the new ministers are to be sworn in before the President after Parliament approved the cabinet reshuffle. The Prime Minister said that the first meeting of the new cabinet is expected to take place next week. Ismail told the Egyptian television that delaying the meeting of the new cabinet aims at giving the new ministers the chance to look into the files related to their ministries. Also on Wednesday, Ismail met with the outgoing ministers to express appreciation for their efforts while in office. During the meeting, the Prime Minister hailed what the ministers have achieved. The meeting was attended by Minister of Legal Affairs, Councillor Magdi El Agati, and the Minister of Planning, Ashraf El Arabi.